May 28. 812. Saint William, of Aquitaine, died. He distinguished himself by his valor against the Saracens, under Charlemagne. 1089. Lanfranc, Archbishop of Canterbury, died. He was an Italian, and has the character of a great statesman, as well as a learned prelate. 1220. Pope Honorius issued a decree that no person in England should keep in his hands more than 2 of the royal castles. 1357. Alfonso IV, of Portugal, died. He was an able prince, benevolent, and warred with the Moors. 1500. De Cabral's fleet encountered a violent storm. 4 of his vessels ran foul of each other and sunk. Bartholomew Diaz, the Portuguese navigator, who first doubled the Cape of Good Hope, was lost here. 1576. The first newspaper printed in England was the Liverpool Times of this date. 1583. The printing of the Vandali Bible commenced at Wittenberg, by Samuel Sealfish, at the expense of the state of Carniola, which paid 8,000 florins for 1,500 copies. 1661. The Marquis of Argyll beheaded at Edinburgh and his head set upon the Tolbooth. 1672. Battle of Southwold Bay, in which the Dutch Admiral de Ruyter with 91 ships of the line and 44 frigates and fireships, engaged the combined fleets of France and England, consisting of 130 sail, under the command of the Duke of York, afterwards James II, and the Admiral Count d'Esters. The conflict was terrible. The Allies had a trifling advantage, and the Dutch retired to the coast of Holland. 1672. Edward Montague, Earl of Sandwich, drowned in the confusion of the Battle of Southwold Bay. 1672. War declared in Boston against the Dutch. The first declaration of war in the colonies. 1673. Action between the English and French fleets, under Prince Rupert, and the Dutch under de Ruyter, at Schonveld. Both sides claimed the victory. 1701. Anne Hilarion de Cosentin de Turville, a French admiral, died. Was fatal to his glory. 1708. Wager attacked and destroyed the Spanish fleet near Carthagena. 1736. Mademoiselle Salle, a famous danseuse at Paris, who piqued herself upon her reputation, instituted an order there, of which she was president, by the name of the Indifferents. Both sexes were indiscriminately admitted, after a nice scrutiny into their qualifications. Badge of the order was a ribbon, striped black, white and yellow, and the device something like an icicle. They took an oath to fight against love, and if any of the members were particular in their regards, they were excluded the order with ignominy. 1745. Jonathan Richardson died. A celebrated English painter of heads, and an author. 1754. Battle at Fort Duquesne. The French and Indians defeated by the Americans under Washington. 1781. American frigate Alliance, 32 guns, Captain Barry, captured British sloops of war Atalanta, 16 guns, and Trespasser, 14 guns. 1793. Anthony Frederick Bushing, a distinguished Prussian geographer, died. 1794. Lord Howe's first action with the French fleet under Joyeuse. British ship Russell captured the Revolutionaire, 110 guns. 1795. William, Prince of Orange, issued a manifesto against the French and Batavian republics, protesting against their right to abolish the stadtholdership. 1797. Toulon, which had been seized by the French royalists, surrendered to the conventional troops. 1798. James Dunbar, professor of philosophy at Aberdeen, died. 1798. Father Murphy, at the head of the United Irishmen, took Enniscorthy, killed 90 of the king's troops, and set the town on fire. 1803. British ship Victory captured the French frigate Ambuscade, formerly belonging to the British. 1803. Richard Hole, an English poet and divine, died. He published Ossian in a Poetic Dress and other works. 1808. The bones of the American prisoners who had perished on board the Jersey and other British prison ships at New York during the Revolutionary War, solemnly inhumed in a vault erected at the Wallabout. 1808. Richard Hurd, Bishop of Worcester, died, aged 89. He was a learned man, author of several literary productions, and was offered the primacy, which he declined. 1810. The Crown Prince of Sweden killed by a fall from his horse, a circumstance which led the way for the elevation of Bernadotte. 1818. First steamboat on Lake Erie Walk in the water, launched at Black Rock. 1839. Michael Buff, a soldier of the Revolution, died in Oglethorpe County, Georgia. He was under Jim Forbes, 1758, and fought at the battles of Brandywine and Germantown. 1840. Thomas Harvey, a distinguished officer in the British Navy, died at Bermuda, aged 65. 1841. Capitulation of the city of Canton, which had forfeited previous stipulations with the British and presumed hostilities. The Chinese agreed to pay $6 million in 1 week as a ransom for the city, and that their troops should be withdrawn 16 miles into the interior, and that all losses sustained by the partial destruction of the factories should be paid. The sum was paid as stipulated. 1843. Noah Webster, the American lexicographer, died, aged 85. 1850. John N. Maffitt, the well-known and eccentric Methodist preacher, died at Mobile. 1852. Thomas Francis Marr, a political exile from Ireland, and convict at Van Diemen's Land, arrived at New York. 1853. The French legislature passed an act restoring capital punishment for attempts on the life of the emperor, or to subvert the imperial government. 1854. A riot occurred at the Park in New York, between a party of Catholics and the friends of a street preacher.